Hello, welcome to a new video of Dynasty War. Today we'll talk about Zhang Liao's skill and awakening skill. So my Zhang Liao right now is 10 out of 15 and 4 out of 5. So he is very different from other heroes as of right now. What I can see is his skill is very unique and his awakening skill is also very unique. So this is it's going to be a very interesting hero to analyze to see if it's worth upgrading his skill or upgrading his awakening skill. So Zhang Liao, every 13 second, a passive skill, every 13 second, he will unleash his skill, which takes 2.5 seconds to attack 10 times. And each time it attack, right now it attack 616, but his awakening skill will give him extra damage per strike. And it will stack up to 9 times, so the 10th strike is much stronger than the first strike. So he is the type of hero that will scale, his skill will scale with his own level. So it's useful to level up his own level to 60 as soon as you awaken him. If you don't level up his awakening skill, I don't really think it's that useful to awaken him immediately. If you are going to make him better and you're trying to get him better, awaken him and then invest in his awakening skill. And I'll talk about why, and we can look at numbers again. So let's take a look at that right now. So right now I listed the awakening level, and each awakening level how much additional damage you're given. So at awakening skill level 1, it's 4%, meaning each strike he get an additional 4% damage. So the second strike is the first strike plus 4%. The third strike is original damage plus 8%, and so on and so on. So at the 10th strike is the original damage plus 36%, because 4 times 9 is 36. So that's how his damage is calculated. And right here I listed all his damage based on awakening level, and here it's his original level, his base damage at each level. And you can see, you can pause the video anytime to look at each number, because there's a lot of number. He does attack 10 times every time he uses skill. So you can see each time it increased by a little bit. It increased by 4% if you're looking on the first table. And total damage he does, you can see it right here. It does a lot of damage compared to before he awakened, because you don't get the additional damage. And just for fun, you can look at the DPS as well, because he does do this total amount of damage within 2.5 seconds. So you can see he actually does a lot of DPS for every 13 seconds, because he, as a passive skill hero, he does a lot of damage. So we have to talk about, are we gonna upgrade his original skill or are we gonna upgrade his awakening skill? So you can see from, let's say, at what my Zhang Liao is at level 10 skill. So you can see the total damage from here. Each time I level his original skill, it go up to here, which is 200 increase. But each time I level up his awakening skill, goes from here to here. It's 400 extra damage in total. And you can see the pattern at any level and at any interval. It's always leveling up the original skill is about 200 increase in damage, but leveling up the awakening skill is 400 increase in damage. So what that means is, each time you level up his awakening skill to have the equivalent increase in damage, you need to upgrade his original skill 2 times. Now going from level 10 to maybe level 12, it's fairly easy because it's still pretty cheap. But going from awakening skill 1, 2 to 3, it's almost always easier, because you only need 150,000. 50,000 for the first time, 100,000 for the next time, and it's guaranteed it will always work. While leveling up his original skill, if you're unlucky, you get very despair, you get very sad, because it might not work. It might take you over 200,000 beats to even get up to one single level. So it's very obvious that you want to go from his awakening skill, and then you will upgrade his original skill, because on the other hand, after you awaken him, you get extra 10 level, which I talked about earlier. His skill does scale with his level, his original level, his own level. So after that, you can upgrade that 10 extra level for him. He already got an extra boost in damage already. His original skill, you can see, you can compare the level 50 Zhang Liao. I think it's around 500 ish. It's about like another 100 increase. I think it's around 80. But then you can see again in here, going from level 10 to level 15, it's about another 80 to 90 damage increase. His original skill, his base attack, stays pretty much the same. It's not a lot. It's really his awakening skill that give him the extra damage. Because each time you level up his awakening skill, you get 1.5% more. Now, 1.5% is very little, but it's not just 1.5. It's 1.5 per attack. So if you have to calculate the total extra damage you get for upgrading from one awakening skill to the other awakening skill, you have to multiply 1.5 plus 1.5 times 2 plus 1.5 times 3 all the way to 1.5 times 9, because his damage stack across each strike. This is the 4% times the original one. This is 8% times the original one, and then 12% and so on and so on. So right now I'm at awakening level 4, and each time I move from left to right is additional 8.5%. So at the 10th time is whatever 9 times 8.5 is about. It's close to 80% extra damage on the last strike. But the strike before it, it's something like 70 something percent extra, and then 60 something percent extra, and so on and so on. So you got a lot of extra damage because of his skill like this. So, and right here, if you just take a look at all these total damage, and as I said earlier, going from one awakening to the other awakening skill, you get 400 extra damage, total extra damage per skill, while leveling up his original skill only get a 200 increase. It is very obvious that you want to upgrade his awakening skill first. Even at the very last level, 200,000 beats, I will definitely save that up and do that first. However, I don't have enough Wade Jade right now, so I can't upgrade that yet. But maybe after you get to awakening level 4, you can invest in maybe 2 level in his original skill, get it up to 12. And then the rest you just save it up and get his awakening skill to level 5, and then focus on his main skill, because his main skill really, it doesn't worth a lot compared to his awakening skill. Again, this is very important because I'm talking about this, the analysis has a point only because if you don't feed your hero with like 6-star or 7-star, because if you do that, it's very close to guarantee you have a very high chance. So whatever works for you, you do that. But I only feed maximum of 4 stars to my awakened hero, so they have a pretty low chance, and it's not guaranteed. Sometimes it takes like 10 or 20 heroes until I can level him up, and for me, awakening skill is guaranteed. So this is the main reason of this argument or analysis. So keep in mind that if you feed like 5-star or 6-star heroes to your awakened hero, then all of these analysis probably doesn't matter to you, because you just do whatever you want, you will get it anyways. My heroes, I think I only have 1 per account that is 15 out of 15, and it's fairly difficult for me to get because I need to have 4-star heroes, and then I need to save up 30,000 beats to level the last level. So this is it for Zhang Liao. For me, I think it's pretty obvious you want to go for awakening level because of the extra percent per hit, and then the other hit per every 9 hit. So I mean, I think this is pretty, this one is pretty easy to see. The map is not easy to do. It's quite complicated because of the incrementation that you get for each strike. But I think, I mean, even if I did the math wrong, the result, the conclusion is pretty much the same. Awakening skill, way better than his original skill for Zhang Liao. So this is it for this video. And if you have any suggestions for the next hero, please leave a comment, and then I'll talk about that hero next. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.